this is working, you know, description is working. So that, okay, it's working. I was saying to you guys, you need to start with the video to understand MySQL, to know the basic, to know the reason why we're doing it. In order for you, because I know, like, if you want to be a web developer, data science, data analytics, they're going to ask you these questions. So if you don't know the basics, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to become a problem. So in today's videos, guys, it's only for the basics of MySQL. The next video, I'm going to have a project here, like the introduction to MySQL. The basics is to understand what is MySQL is. So without wasting any time, let's go. And again, like this, if like you want tutoring, you want individual session, you can text me on WhatsApp 065 534 8628. I do data scientist, I do Python, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, all the things that are related to data scientist or data science, even in focus on Excel, even tutoring. You understand? If you have a child watching this video, is starting with their studies, make sure you text me on WhatsApp 065 534 8628. So without wasting any time, I want to share my screen and explain what they expected from us from MySQL. You understand? This one, I'm going to share it like now. So as you can see, it's going to say like, okay, let me do it like this. Okay. So I'm going to say, let me remove this thing. Getting started with SQL and the beginner guide to database. Learn how to talk database using SQL structures query language. So this is an introduction that will welcome you to understand, like, we're going to start to know the basics of MySQL and learn how to speak like someone who knows about SQL, the language of MySQL. So the first question is, what is MySQL? So like the SQL stands for structured query language. You understand this? How MySQL stands for structured query language. So MySQL is used to communicate with database. So like MySQL, we use it to communicate with database. You know, like if you've done Python, these languages, we know how to speak their languages, but we need to understand this language. If you don't understand these languages, it becomes a problem. So like I said, I'm going to start with you until you understand MySQL. So like I said, these videos is just an introduction to MySQL to understand what is needed from you. SQL helps you store, retrieve, and manage data. So MySQL help you to store, to retrieve, and manage data. We remember, when we focus on MySQL, we deal with the data. So common tools like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and Oracle. Oracle, yes, it's hard for me to pronounce. These are common tools related to MySQL. I'm going to see them when time goes. Why you need to learn MySQL? Why learn MySQL? SQL is used in data analysis. Like I said, if you want to be a data analysis or data scientist or web development or software engineer, you need to understand MySQL. So most of companies use relational database. So most of companies, they use relational database, helps you to become job ready. So if you understand MySQL, that means you're ready for a job as a data scientist, data analytics, web development, or software engineer. Easy to learn, but very powerful. Easy to learn, hey, it's very easy to learn, but it's powerful. It will be easy for you to get job opportunity because of it's easy to learn. It's very powerful. This skill is very powerful. Then I'm going to say, like, what is a database? So I'm going to say a database stores information in a structured way. So you're going to see in the project we're going to do, we're going to structure our data in the thing we're going to do. Remember, this is the first video of introduction to MySQL. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet. Just imagine. Think like a digital filing cabinet. A relational database store data in tables. Like we're going to see, we're going to make a beautiful columns there. It depends, maybe student column or maybe employees column. We're going to see like those things when we go. Each table has rows, which is rows and records, and columns are fields. So you must know each table has row, and row in MySQL known as records, and fields are known as columns in MySQL. SQL. So the basics of SQL commands, these are basics of SQL commands. I want to say select, that meaning when it says select, we mean to collect the data, we get the data. When it says select, select means we get the data. And then I'll focus on the insert. Insert will mean add new data. So insert, add new data. Insert, that means we add new data. Select, we get the data. Update, we change the data. Delete is a remove a data, we all know. Create the new tables and drop the tables. So it goes like this. Select, get the data is an insert in the new data. Then it comes to update, and comes to delete, which is come to remove and drop the tables. If you want to drop the whole column you created, you understand, you're going to do how it says. But the best thing you can do, if like you want to understand these basics, you can write them down. Then SQL syntax example. So we select the name from students where the age is 18. So this means the name and the age are, this means the names and the age from the student table. So that means we create a table of the name student, but only where age is greater than 18, because you can see we select the name from student where the age is greater than 18. So I want to understand these things like when we do it projects, because of me, I believe in learning while you're practicing. I believe in practical. Practical lead to experience. Important SQL rules. So these are the rules that you need to know. SQL is not case sensitive. Select equals to select. So SQL is not case sensitive. Select equals to select. Statement end with a semicolon. Every statement ends with a semicolon. So let's make sure every statement ends with a semicolon. Strings in the single quotes, that means strings means letters and integers means numbers. So strings are in the single quotes, which is John. Always know which table you are working with. Always know which table you are working with. And then SQL data types basics. These are SQL data type basics. We focus to int. Like I said, int is a whole numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vulture is a text. This is they call the vulture, but normally we call it string. And date is a date. Float is decimal number. Those one with the core. And true or false we have is a boolean, the same as Python basics. I know if you watch my video talk about the Python basics, you understand what I'm talking about. What is a table? So students table, we have an ID, we have a name, we have age, we have a grade, which is ID is 1, 2, name, age, and B. So each row, one student, each column, one piece of data. That means each row, one student, each you can see one student, each column, one piece of data. The data you can see age and a grade. Then filtering data with where, like where. Select from where from students. Where grade from A. Show all students with grade A means all columns. You understand? I think it's well explained. And then start sorting data with order by. So like now we start to sorting a data with order by, selecting a name and age. From where? From student. Order by what? So order sort data. So data likes go with descending and ascending, which is, like when we talk about ascending, we talk about A, and we talk about A to Z, and also descending to understand what we talk about. So the real world use cases of SQL, the real world use cases. Viewing customer orders, meaning, so like that means the real world use cases of MySQL, meaning like the reason why we use SQL in the business. We use it to view customer orders, right? Let me do like this. We used to view customer orders. We used to manage employees. We used to record. Okay, something. We used to manage employees' records and find top selling and project-generating reports. This is why the companies they use MySQL. This is the reason behind viewing customer orders, managing employee records, finding top selling and product generating reports. You can do reports. So summary, what you know, like now, you know what is MySQL is, you know how database and tables work, and you know the basic of MySQL commands, SQL syntax, and examples with the real use. So I didn't want to be long. This is what you know. So the only thing I'll say to you, make sure you subscribe and share this video with your friend, and make sure you follow me so we can get the future. Bye-bye.